Hello, welcome back to Tim Tunes. I'm Tim Rose, and I've been writing songs for over 50 years. In this episode, I'll discuss 3 songs I've written about changes, transitioning from one situation or relationship or phase of life to another. I've changed up the intro music for this session with a little piece called Everything Changes. It just seemed appropriate. Sometimes change happens and you hardly notice it. Other times, change can be so sudden and significant that there is no denying it. Dealing with change, however, is something that can only be learned by going through it. The excitement, the heartbreak, the boredom, the fear, and the exhilaration of change can only be experienced, not taught. Frequently, we need distance or time to give us the perspective we need to understand the change. Perspective that we can only see when we look back. The 3 songs in this episode deal with the fear of moving into a change, the anxiety and the uncertainty as relationships mature, and the physical changes of age. Back in the mid to late 70s, my wife and I were involved in what was then referred to as New Age culture. This culture is based loosely on Buddhist, Hindu, and other what were then referred to as Eastern philosophies. There are also New Age philosophies that are based on Christianity, Judaism, and Sufi Muslim beliefs and practices. Meditation was a key part of the mix. Not just the passive form practiced in transcendental meditation, but also active meditations that included dancing and singing and firewalking. In firewalking, a very large hardwood fire is burned until there are only hot embers left. These embers are then spread out into a path that's usually around 15 to 20 feet long. There is a guided meditation session about facing your fears, and then you take off your shoes and walk barefoot across the embers. My experience with firewalking was the inspiration for this song. Walking through the fire was a metaphor for moving through any difficult change. My first experience with firewalking was very scary and moved me profoundly. I made this recording on my first professional recording system in the 1990s. With my Tascam 8-track reel-to-reel recorder, I could use many tracks without having to bounce tracks before my final mix. Thus, I was able to create the lovely vocal that you are about to hear. So let's give a listen to Walk Through the Fire.
Don't be afraid or fear will burn you. Don't hesitate or time will turn you back. Walk through the fire. We all have something hot that we avoid. Could be a trial by fire or a smoldering rug. A burning issue that we put off till it's too hot to approach. Then we walk through the fire as the flames leap higher. Don't be afraid or fear will burn you. Don't hesitate or time will turn you back. Walk through the fire. Some things we have to do alone. Some things we have to do alone. With quiet courage as we come to choice. And in that moment we change our lives as we chart another course. When we walk through the fire as the flames leap higher. Don't be afraid or fear will burn you. Don't hesitate or time will turn you back. Walk through the fire. Hardest of them all. When we smell the fire and consider defeat, the trip begins with this small leap. We have to move through the heat. When we walk through the fire as the flames leap higher. Hesitate or time will turn you back. Walk through the fire. Walk through the fire. Oh, you got to keep on walking.
Ah, yes, the fade out. Every band's cop-out to actually ending a song. By the way, kids, don't do this at home. I don't advocate firewalking, and I would never do it again. But at that point in my life, it was something I could use. Written around 1998, this song is about the transition from being the parents of children to the parents of adults. The main difference being your relationship with your spouse no longer centers around taking care of your children. As the dynamic of the relationship changes, is there a basis for the relationship to continue without the glue of the children to hold the pair together? In the song, the house represents the structure of the relationship. The relationship is a kind of kingdom of sorts with a king and a queen. One of my all-time favorite lines is in this song. It goes, "What will happen next now that the swing set's chains are gone?" We had one of those heavy wooden swing sets with a plastic slide attached to it. At some point, as the kids got older, they stopped using it and we removed the swing sets and the chains. The song starts off with a driving verse and then comes to a regal chorus. Spoken in third person, the first verse describes the king's perspective and the second verse the queen's. The bridge cools down and is an expression of the vulnerability of the pair and the uncertainty in the future of the relationship. The song ends with two choruses. There's a key change one whole step higher, which adds urgency to the end of the song. Ultimately, the question of how long can this simple structure stand is left hanging unresolved. Recorded in 2002 by the band Horizon, this is the only recording of this song. Robert Sikkema is playing fretless bass, David Brown is on drums, and I'm singing and playing guitar. The song was recorded in one take with no overdubs, as though we were recording live. Usually when we record, we'll start with a reference track and then use that as a basis for recording the other parts individually. That way, we can re-record over any mistakes. We did not do that for this recording. So I present to you, flaws and all, she is his queen.
He never was the smartest or the fastest on the block. He was never all that handsome, at least that's what he thought. He would never break the record, he would never win the race. And yet there is one person who would hold him in her praise. On the corner of the street, a humble dwelling stands. Through the angry burning summer and the frigid winter wind, but still that simple house belies the realm that lies within, mute witness to the love between a woman and a man. She is his queen, is he her king? She is his everything, because everything he is, he owes in part to her. Though the world may tumble down, they will never lose their crown, so long as this simple structure stands. Well, she never was that popular, nor cared to please her peers, but the skills that she once had, she fears, have faded with the years. Well, she knows she had the knack back then, before the kids came in, and yet there is one who still thinks she can do most anything. Well, what will happen next, now that the swing set's chains are gone, and the freedom that she worked so hard for now is nearly won? Will she realize her talent? Will she ever find her dream? Will she realize her dream is so much closer than it seems? She is his queen, is he her king? Is he not her everything? Because everything she is due in part to him. As the world now starts anew, are they one or are they two? How long can that simple structure stand? In the cool and quiet night, they together lay, and the sweet familiar touch still stirs their souls. How intimate and hushed is their surrender, as though this were the last time they would hold each other so. She is his queen, is he her king? She is his everything, because everything he is, he owes in part to her. Though the world may tumble down, they will never lose their crowns, so long as this simple structure stands. She is his queen, is he her king? Is he not her everything? Because everything she is due in part to him. As the world now starts anew, are they one or are they two? How long can that simple structure stand? How long can that simple structure stand?
If you listen carefully, you can hear David the drummer make a clicking sound as he puts his sticks together. I'll play just the last chord. See if you can spot it. There it is. There. Did you hear that? Yeah, that was it right there. Mm-hmm. One of the unfortunate realities of aging is that over time, passion diminishes. It rarely happens at the same speed or the same time for two people in a relationship. Of course, there are other factors that come into play, like hormones or the lack thereof, boredom and injury. This piece is a torch song that mourns the loss of that passion. Use of the tango style emphasizes the heady romantic nature of the content and creates an appropriate atmosphere. Recorded entirely by me in my studio around 2010, there are several mixes of this song. I've chosen the mix of the song where I sing each line in the chorus with heavy EQ and reverb, and then speak each line as well. It's kind of hard to describe, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. I programmed the piano, organ, bass, and drums with my music production software, and then recorded myself playing guitar and mandolin and singing along with the programmed tracks. At the time I wrote the song, there was no good way to program a drum roll. I had to improvise as best I could. The entire song was recorded, mixed, and mastered in my studio computer. Please feel free to tango to Still I Burn.
I used to feel you shudder sometimes as I'd walk by, or maybe just the slightest blush and then a little sigh. But now it seems of late, dear, your passion has abated, and through the night, try as I might, I can't but wonder why. Still I burn for you, I still yearn for you. Through the embers smolder as we grow older, the fire inside burns true. Still I burn. So now I start to wonder, sometimes as you walk by, have I lost my touch? Then I push too much, and as you pass I sigh. But as you stayed of late, dear, your passion has abated, and through the night, try as I might, I can't but wonder why. Still I burn for you, I still yearn for you. Though the embers smolder as we grow older, the fire inside burns true. Still I burn.
If my sorrow seems protracted, don't mind me, I'm just distracted.
Mourning for the death of passion's fire.
Nothing soothes me or assuages as I pass through all grief stages, stuck as I am here in my denial.
Still I burn for you, I still yearn for you. Though the embers smolder as we grow older, the fire inside burns true. Still I burn, still I burn, still I burn.
I really like the line, though the embers smolder as we get older, the fire inside burns true. It's one of my all-time favorites. I can see by the old timer on the recording console our time is almost up. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Tim Tunes. As always, you can stream or purchase my published music on your favorite source, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, or Amazon. We look forward to your comments, suggestions, questions, posits, notes, queries, discussions, remarks, ideas, statements, observations, opinions, hypotheses, witticisms, theories, assumptions, beliefs, arguments, and speculations. A thesaurus in the wrong hands is a dangerous thing.